My name is Olivia, and I'm an explainer at the Everett Children's Garden at NYBG. Today, I'm going to be reading you guys the book From Here to Infinity about the artist Yayoi Kusama. The book is written by Sarah Suzuki and illustrated by Ellen Weinstein. After that, my friends Rose and Jose are going to show you a fun activity that you can do at home. So let's get started. Yayoi Kusama was born in the country of Japan on the island of Honshu in a town called Matsumoto City. An old palace made of wood and stone overlooked a moat where swans swam. The streets were lined with little shops, and snow-capped mountains rose in the distance, swallowing up the sun as it went down in the evening. Yayoi's family owned nurseries where all kinds of flowers and vegetables grew, and workers tended the plants as they matured from seeds to sprouts to stalks. But Yayoi yearned for a different life, far from the countryside. She dreamed about what lay beyond the mountains, in places far from Matsumoto City. She longed to leave home and see the world. Yayoi's mother wanted her to stay home and learn old-fashioned manners. How to dress elegantly, walk demurely, eat politely, and find a proper husband. But Yayoi wanted to be an artist. Every day she went outside with ink and brushes and paper. She drew things she saw and things she imagined. She looked closely at the pebbles that lined the riverbed, and at the leaves and stalks of plants, and she drew them as chains of tiny cells that looked like dots. When she was older and studying in art school, her teachers disapproved of her work, and they demanded that Yayoi paint in the traditional, precise Japanese style. She wanted to go where she could live without rules. When she was 28 years old, she packed up her silk kimonos and thousands of drawings and stuffed dollar bills into the toes of her shoes. It was her first airplane trip. There were only 4 other passengers, and the weather was stormy with rain and lightning. The airplane wobbled and dipped as it flew to America. In New York, Yayoi went to the top of the Empire State Building, the tallest building in a city full of tall buildings. When she looked down, she saw buses and cars and yellow taxis zooming up and down the avenues, and bankers and teachers and artists rushing to work. From up on the 86th floor, they looked like dots. She felt very far from quiet Matsumoto City and her mother's rules. Here, it seemed anything was possible. Yayoi set about turning her drawings of dots into paintings. The dollar bills that she had brought to America quickly ran out, and she spent what little money she had left on paints and canvases. She worked day and night. She painted when she was cold. She painted when she was hungry. She painted when she was lonely. And she turned her dots into sculptures too, into soft stuffed tubes that covered sofas and chairs and boats. She was devoted to her dots. For her, they were a way of thinking about the world among the stars, as one dot among millions of others. They were a way of thinking about infinity. Sometimes, when she grew frustrated, she visited the Museum of Modern Art. She gazed at paintings by other artists, and she thought about why and how they were made. She looked at pictures of dancing girls and swirling night skies, trying to solve them as if they were puzzles. Her paintings seemed so different from those she had seen at MoMA. When she was at last ready to show her work in public, she invited all the friends she had made in New York. When she arrived at the gallery, a crowd was spilling out onto the sidewalk. Her friends lifted her into the air, shouting, "Yayoi, you've finally done it!" Word about her artwork spread quickly. Her friends told their friends, newspapers wrote about her work, and reporters clamored to interview her about her dots. Now she began to show them in other cities, all over the United States and Europe. Her dots were covering the world. They appeared in Venice as thousands of dot-shaped mirrors scattered over a big green lawn. on a pumpkin, on a pier, on dresses and t-shirts, on people walking down the street, and in mirrored rooms where glowing dots were reflected and reflected again. An infinity of dots. Having visited many countries all over the world, Yayoi returned to Japan. The country had changed since she left, with many different artists challenging the old traditional style, as Yayoi had been doing all along. She still lives in Japan, and she continues to paint her dots every day.
Hi y'all! I hope you enjoyed reading From Here to Infinity. So we learned that Yayoi Kusama uses dots in her artwork to create nature. So today, y'all will be doing something similar. We will be using whatever material you have. It could be pens, pencils, crayons to draw it, or they could be pieces of scrap paper from around the house, cardboard, old newspapers to cut out into little dots and then paste it onto the paper, similar to a collage, if y'all have made that before. And we will be showing you pictures of the garden, pictures of flowers, of various plants, and that's what you can base it off of. However, of course, if that's too complicated or you just have something else in mind, you can use your favorite animal, a cool bug, the view outside your window, whatever you would like, as long as you make nature with dots. So Yayoi Kusama creates her art using all different types of materials, and y'all will too, and the possibilities are infinite. So I hope you have fun.
Welcome everyone. So my name is Jose. I'm gonna be the one doing the activity. So as some of you might know, or fun fact, Yayoi Kusama loves pumpkins, so that is what I will be recreating. And I have some materials to help me with that. Of course, I have my piece of paper where everything's gonna be laid down. I have some buttons, recycled buttons. I have some markers. I just picked these colors because I think they might fit better. Some pom-poms. Ooh, dropped a few. And then I have some glue and some reused magazines. So that's all you need. You can get anything you want, really, but as long as it ends up being in circles, should be fine. So let's get to it. Alright, welcome back. So here you can see a finished product of what I created. So I'll call it pumpkin number 10. You can also see an ant here since we're in the botanical garden. And here we have the picture that was inspired of, which is why I created a pumpkin. Then got some leaves from outside, some things you can pick up from the floor. You can also put in your drawings, or you can just make the whole drawing from things you can collect outside. Here we have another example of something you can create. So in one of her books, she talks about a riverbed. This will be the riverbed in question, with a ladybug, some flowers, and a lot of different decorations. So with all you can see, you can just get as creative as you want. Have fun.
Thank you guys for doing this activity with us. We all made amazing art pieces, and we learned about Yayoi Kusama's specialty, which is dots or circles in her art. In the future, please use reusable materials whenever you create art pieces, and I hope that doing so, you will be better with the environment and recycling. Additionally, I hope that you learned how to see shapes all over in nature, not just dots, perhaps squares, triangles. Just give it a go and have fun. So thank you guys so much once again for joining us, and we hope to see you at the garden soon. Bye.